Drehmal is a custom 12,000 block by 12,000 block Minecraft map. It has a story, custom weapons, bosses, and biomes. And it's all in vanilla Minecraft. I'm going to spend 100 days in this place. Since this map is very story based, I decided to do a little roleplay to make the video a bit more interesting. These videos really do take a long time to make, so if you enjoy, please consider leaving a like or even subscribing. With that, enjoy the video. I woke up in what looked like a coffin. I don't know why or when I got in. A voice said something about being in stasis for 1,081 years, but that can't be right. I have a pickaxe, some bread, and boots of the honorable. They seem to give me more health. I didn't find anything else of use in the room, but I saw a sign telling me to look for chiseled stone. I mined the stone and found a whole crypt. I saw depictions of the different deities of this place. I found a statue of an entity known as Drehmal. I found more supplies. I hope this doesn't count as grave robbing. I mean, I was just in a grave. I climbed up a large staircase and looked out at the beautiful realm known as Drehmal. I found a crossroad with a path that leads to a city and one that leads to a cave. Since night was falling, I headed to the cave for temporary shelter. Who knows what kind of monsters and beasts roam this land. I entered the cave and found an abandoned hut. There was a journal written by a follower of Drehmal. Most of the book is blank pages, so I've taken the liberty of sharing my own story in it. I found more chiseled stone hiding in a chest with more supplies. This cave has been abandoned for a long time. I'm sure the devotee won't mind if I use their old equipment. I also found a magic compass that always points towards this cave. I crafted some stone tools and did a little bit of mining. I found a good bit of iron ore. I made some furnaces to smelt my iron. I laid down on some bit of hay and put the day's events into the old journal and eventually drifted off to sleep. This is the start of my first full day in this place. I almost thought yesterday was a dream. I started the day by crafting some better tools and armor. I decided to head to that town. I crafted some shears and got wool to make a bed. I took in the scenery as I walked. This place really is pretty. I found an abandoned church that talks about a conflict and the formation of the gods, including Drehmal, the most powerful. A sign said the city of Drehmal is a day's walk, so I started walking. I came across a magical looking tower. I climbed up the tower and pressed a button thinking it would call a wizard or something, but it actually transported me to a strange room. My body felt so weird. I heard a voice telling me multiple things at once. It said the network was 3.6% linked and needs 100% linkage to activate Mythbreaker protocols, whatever that means. There's probably more towers out there and activating them will increase network connection. I saw a map below me with what must be the island of Drehmal. I saw more buttons behind unbreakable glass. Maybe these buttons leads to more towers. I left the strange place and went back to the tower. I continued my trek to Drehmal, but night started to fall before I could get there. I met a kind hunter who let me spend the night with him. I crafted a bed of my own and went to sleep after updating this journal. I thanked the kind hunter and continued walking towards the town. After only a few minutes, I saw it. The townspeople were all polite, but none of them had any equipment that could help me figure out what was going on. I repaired one of the golems that defends the town. The captain of the guards told me about a compass pointing towards something. He doesn't have the manpower to follow it, so he gave it to me to investigate. I ran in a room at the local inn as night started to fall. I left Drehmal and headed to a place called Palisades Heath. I followed the path and came across a bridge spanning a great chasm. I crossed it no problem and found another transport tower. It sent me back to the terminus and proved my theory right about towers being connected to network linkage. I wonder what will happen once I get all of them. I should try to find more. I set up camp at the top of the tower. I continued following the path and crossed another cliff. The path faded away, so I continued heading in its general direction. This plan worked and I picked up the path again. I came across another bridge, but this one was broken. I tried to build across, but slipped and fell into the river below. I used this opportunity to get fish for food. I swam to shore and tried to find another path. I was lost and cold, but the view was amazing. I found a strange magic ritual of some sort, but I didn't have time to investigate. Night fell and I was still lost. I decided to follow the compass I got. Maybe it would help me. I ran all night and had to avoid the monsters, but I survived. I found a fortress and hoped to find shelter inside. I didn't. I got attacked by a group of raiders. Maybe they thought I was a raider. I tried to tell them I'm lost and harmless, but they didn't stop, so I fought back. There were too many of them, so I retreated by running deeper into their fortress. I got attacked again and couldn't get away before losing consciousness. I found myself crawling out of the crypt again. I thought I was dead, but maybe my story wasn't meant to be over. I headed in the opposite direction of the town today, hoping to find more towers. I explored until night fell, and found another tower. I found some ruins with some good loot. I entered a biome with giant flowers. I found another tower. This one was guarded by the undead. I went out exploring and found a strange floating monolith. I then returned to the previous tower and started the construction of a base, in a giant flower. I want my house to be close to a tower in case I need access to it quickly. I gathered some wood for walls. I placed the wood in my flower house. This isn't going to be the best house out there, but it should be adequate. I got an essential item in every adventurer's toolkit, a water bucket. I did a bit of exploring and found the weirdest place to hide loot, guarded by a couple of skeletons. I balanced across the beam and dropped down on the monsters from above. I found a strange structure and heard the cackling of a witch. I found a witch spawner. I destroy it and kill the evil things. The loot they were guarding wasn't that great. I explored through the night and found a snowy tundra. I found a fortress but soon realized I'm not equipped to deal with it. I traveled back to my base as the sun rose. I did some more work on the base. I did some more exploring and found a strange water vortex. I climbed to the top and found some loot. I explored all night but was unable to find any more towers. I found another tower. I climbed to the top and entered the terminus again. The map below me seems to keep track of which towers I activate. There's probably a tower in each region of the land. I went back to my base to clean up my inventory. I did a little more mining before the end of the day. I found some more iron. I upgraded my magic boots, but I had to use 2 iron blocks. The boots now give me more health. I used up most of my iron supply last night, so I went mining again. I found a vast cavern filled with iron ore. Luckily, there were not a lot of monsters. I returned from the mine with half a stack of iron. I did some more work on my flower house. I returned to the last tower I found and continued exploring for more. I found more loot hanging over a chasm. I found a strange pit in the valley. It didn't look naturally formed. I wonder who or what made it. I found these cool ice ravines, pun not intended. I discovered a small fortress with some supplies inside. While I ran from all the monsters, I stumbled upon the path again. I followed the path. It led me to another raider camp. It wasn't even a camp, they were just guarding the road, probably trying to steal from traveling merchants. I decided to raid the raiders. I found another tower and had to jump on floating ice to get to the top. I returned to my base and emptied my inventory. I went back to the tower I just found and did some mining in the caves surrounding it. I found a lot of resources down there. Gold, redstone, emeralds. I even found a decent amount of diamonds. There were a lot of monsters in the cave, but the gems are worth it. I left the cave. I made a diamond pickaxe and continued exploring. I found an igloo filled with ice. I took in the scenery. I climbed a volcano filled with lava. Despite being boiling hot, the volcano really was beautiful. There were some ores exposed too. I found another unusual structure holding something. I broke in and found more loot. I spent the rest of the day traversing the rough terrain. I made it back to my base and made a chest for all my valuables. I harvested some wheat so I could make bread. Luckily, there was plenty growing around my house. I explored some more and found a shipwreck with emerald blocks. I wonder what happened to the crew. I sailed right off the coast, hoping to spot a tower or something of interest. I found 2 more shipwrecks with emeralds, melons, and slime. I went to the shore and ran along the beach. I found a campfire with horses around it. I found a saddle a little while ago and decided to tame one. After all the walking and running I've done, it felt good to take a rest. I discovered a shrine or a ritual of some sort with blood and skulls. I saw another tower right off the coast. I boated to the tower and saw raiders guarding it. I fought off the raiders and climbed the tower. I enter the terminus like usual and am told I have reached 25% linkage. The voice told me I am requested at a specific set of coordinates. I went home. Is this place really going to be my home? I still don't know how I got to this place. I hope that whoever called me has answers. I got some more supplies and headed out. I went back to my horse and started going to the cords. On the way there, I found a tent on a cliff. I decided to set up camp for the night. I left early in the morning. I almost died to some monsters. I need to be more careful. I found a door to nowhere. I noticed another camp on a cliff. The house is old and falling apart. There's also a crater in the floor. I found a note telling me to run away and light a portal to a place called the Aether. I tried to do this, but nothing happened. What the heck happened here? The portal was made of glowstone, so I have that now at least. Something doesn't feel right about this place. I'm not spending the night here. I traveled all day and came across another town. I haven't seen another person since Drehmal. The company will be good for me. I asked around about the coordinates, but no one knew anything about them. I would be surprised if any of these villagers traveled far from their village. I spent the rest of the day talking and then rented a room from the inn. I just explored and continued heading to the cords. I finally made it. It appears to be some type of research facility. It used a type of levitation magic to lift me up. I looked for someone to talk to, but only found these strange automatons. They attacked me on sight, or however they detected me. They could also take a beating. I found journals around the site from people who worked there before. The thing I fought is called a drone. It's powered by something called primal energy. These drones aren't the only things the energy can help create. As I was fighting more drones, I got hit off the catwalk. I landed on a support beam alive, but in bad shape. I was able to heal a little bit and got down safely. After climbing back up, I went to sleep hoping to find answers in the morning. I found another journal. They seemed to be or were mining something known as primal energy. What happened here? I killed another drone and picked up its head. I don't think it can do anything, but it looks cool. Another journal said this place was sworn to secrecy about the power they were using. It seems this power belongs to someone and they wouldn't want their energy stolen. What am I getting myself into? I saw a weird looking weapon of some sort. This must be another thing powered by the primal energy. Another journal said something about a temporal stasis project. It's going to be used to fight something that lies beyond. Whatever that means. I entered a large tower and watched as the windows opened. I discovered a journal talking about a glider. I broke the glass and found the mentioned glider. I glided away from the tower. It isn't the fastest way to travel, but it is peaceful. I didn't find any living people in that place either. I have some info, but not enough to figure out what happened and why I woke up where I did a month ago. Has it been a whole month already? Man, time sure does fly when you have no idea what's going on. I returned to my horse. I found another structure similar to the one I just left. There was a spawner inside and some loot. I found a bow enchanted with infinity. I fought more raiders. I returned to my house, a pleasant sight for sore eyes. I think I'm getting used to my new life here. I upgraded my boots. I crafted some diamond armor. I went exploring for more towers. The glider makes travel easier. I'm even able to update this journal in mid-flight, which is pretty convenient. I found a ritual of a necromancer. I took a strange dagger and destroyed a hidden spawner. I came across the town of Mota. I asked the locals where I could find more towers, and they told me to follow the road. I listened to the directions and soon saw another tower. I had to fight my way to the top and encountered a necromancer. I activated the tower. I just explored. I discovered a biome filled with lava, magma, and fossils. I don't think this is a volcano, but I don't know how this could have happened. I found another advanced piece of weaponry. Could these things be responsible for all the carnage? As I was exploring the volcanic biome, I saw a bunch of zombie pigmen. How'd they get here? Then I came across a truly horrifying sight. Despite all the fire and lava, I entered the terrible biome. There has to be something useful here. I watched a pig turn into a zombie. I hope that doesn't happen to me since I'm breathing in the same ash. I saw a castle in the distance and made my way over to it. It was quite dangerous. I made it to the palace, but have no food. This isn't good. The castle was guarded by undead soldiers. They aren't hard to kill, but I don't have the food to take a lot of damage. I found decent loot. I also discovered a magic chest. I can put some of my extra items in here and retrieve them somewhere else. I fought more soldiers and got a skull. I encountered a stronger soldier. Alright, I found some ancient debris. This will really come in handy. I found a large chamber with a knight riding a hoglin. Luckily I could shoot it from a distance. The general hit hard. I had a potion of strength and used it to take him down. I went to the back of the room and found a mythical sword. It gives me more health and does more damage. It can summon a shield to block projectiles, but it also slows me down. I got a chance to test out the sword. I am left bloodied and broken with no food. I flew out of the castle hoping to find a tower so I could get back safely. I flew through dozens of these flying monsters. I felt the heat of a fireball and lost consciousness. I woke up and was in the crypt again. What's going on here? Is my soul bound here or is there a deity on my side? Either way, I don't want to keep dying since 1, I might not come back one day, and 2, it hurts a lot. I would need to go back there to activate that tower though. This sword is able to cook animal meat on death. That's convenient. I discovered another tower. I returned home. I found the town of Gozak. I purchased some melons from one of the merchants. I also bought an axe from a villager named Gimli. I rented a room from the inn and take the time to update this journal. I discovered the Verdant Labyrinth. It seemed to be a natural maze made by the mountains. After exploring for a little bit, I found a small raider fortress that floats. How'd they build this and how do they reach it? I have the glider, but what about them? I shot arrows at them and watched as they pushed each other off. I fought my way through. I found the journal of the bandit captain. It seems he was researching the gods. He mentioned that a mountain known as Mount Yavalix has not always existed in ancient artworks. It just showed up. I remember the books at the research site where I got the glider talk about Mount Yavalix. Could the power they found be connected with the random appearance? Attacking these guys might not have been the best idea. If I could have talked with them, I could have gotten answers. I found another little village. Nearby, I traveled across a long bridge and entered a very nice temple. It seems to be a temple to the goddess Virtuo. Her domain is peace, purity, and perfection. That was the vibe I got in her temple. At some point, Virtuo fought against an evil god known as Malus in the deity war. I climbed to the top of a nearby mountain and glided off. I landed near the labyrinth and almost died. Luckily, I had a golden apple. I'm getting good at using this glider. I did more exploring and found another tower. I looked at the map and tried to guess where more towers were. There should be one in each unique biome. I teleported back home and upgraded my boots again. I headed out in search of more towers. These things are my only way to figure out what's going on. After traveling all night, I found another tower. It wasn't too far away from the last town I found. I used the skull I found earlier to upgrade the boots again. They are now diamond tier and give me even more health than before. I traveled south looking for the island I saw on the terminus map. I traveled through another volcanic biome. I sailed across the water and saw a gorgeous island. I explored the island. I flew towards a temple on the mountain. The scenery sure is pretty here. The temple was covered in cobwebs. This place is abandoned. Inside were ghosts protecting the place. I took a lot of hits and ran through the place, never being able to escape. When I thought I was safe, I got jumped by a demon or something. I ran faster than ever and then died when I couldn't put on the glider. There must be someone powerful out there on my side. I've evaded death 3 times now. I decided to follow that compass I found weeks ago. The glider had low durability, so I decided to take my horse instead. It's been a while since he's been able to run. After traveling for a while, I saw another bandit camp. I fought them, but they didn't have very good loot. The compass pointed me towards a small island. I think this is the place where I died the first time. I take it on again. I managed to kill everyone inside. They looked very surprised to see me again. One of them dropped a magic sword. I came to what the compass was pointing towards, a mountain of treasure. I explored and found a small pyramid full of monsters. I fought my way through, but the treasure wasn't that good. As I was traveling, I came across a giant wall. The wall was controlled by raiders and I really didn't want to deal with them, so I ran in the opposite direction. I found an alchemist's hideout. I rode all day and found an old fortress. It's been a while since I've seen a friendly face. I explored all night and found another town. I didn't stay for long. I passed a tower I found earlier and stopped home to empty my inventory. I repaired the glider too. I found a cave filled with water. I entered out of curiosity and found a little house. Deep in the cave, I found a dungeon of some sort. After a little while, I felt my strength leave me. I was unable to break blocks. There were undead sentinels everywhere and strange fish in the water. There were these large chambers throughout the dungeon, so I climbed up to one. Inside were more undead and a giant fish in a tank. I was too weak to break the glass, so I shot it with my bow. There were 2 other giant tanks, so I killed the fish in those as well. I pressed a button and felt the weakness leaving me. I broke into another chamber and found a riddle. In the main chamber, I found a note with old rites on it. I used it to solve the riddle. I swam through a secret passage and found a new magic weapon called Ascendance. It can shoot out an armor-piercing wave. I explored a lot these past couple of days. I let my horse go free, found a compass, collected a lodestone, found a village, and a couple of towers. I found another tower and reached 50% connection. I was given more coordinates. I went home and connected a compass to the lodestone. Now I'll never lose the location of my house. I reached the coordinates and found another abandoned research facility. What happened here? I found a book that said they built this place underwater to protect it from attacks. Where'd all the water go? I found another book, very different from the last one. Guess even scientists need to have fun every now and then, eh? I found a secret room with a magic dagger. Holding it will make me invisible. I jumped in a hole and found another secret room with 3 magic shields. These shields were used by Blue Exodus, a private military group that Avsom hired to protect the miners mining the primal energy. Blue Exodus were also the creators of the towers and the terminus. All the towers need to be activated before I can enter Mount Yavalix, the place being mined for the primal energy. Once I enter the mountain, I will need to fight the workers within who have gone insane. I spent a long time searching for more towers. One tower was covered in ice despite being in a mesa. Found a giant vault door that I blasted open with TNT. Inside was a soldier that I had to defeat. I got a magic bow as a reward. I discovered a giant dam. Of course the elevator was broken. I climbed to the top and found a city. While I was exploring the inn, I entered a secret meeting of the villagers. We all seemed surprised, and I left without fighting when one pushed me out. I entered an abandoned mine and came out the other side close to a tower. I reached 75% linkage. I now have more privileges in the terminus. I unlocked a secret room and found a cool weapon behind some glass. There was also a store of some sort. In the back was a button, but I needed 100% connection for it to work. I found a colorful patch of desert. There was a pyramid with a queer apple. That night I found another tower, but it was guarded by fire creatures. I fought them and activated the tower. I returned to Hell on Earth. I had to deal with the flying monsters as I flew to the next tower. They were quite annoying. Oh my gosh, I am never going there again. I found an island. Someone else was trying to create a portal that didn't work. The cows here are weird. This whole place is weird. I found another tower though. I sailed southwest until I found another island. This one is very similar to the last one I found. I found another tower, I jumped to the top and met a villager along the way. I fought my way to the top of another tower. Inside was a giant hog. I found another town today. This one was full of large houses, but the people were wearing rags. One villager tried to sell me a nail. The castle was locked. What happened to these people? I found a rundown church. Inside was a priest. He told me this town used to be very prosperous, but then all the trading stopped and all the wealth ran out. They didn't have the funds to maintain the temple, so it fell. He told me about a tower near the city. I found the tower the priest was talking about. It was guarded though. I fought my way to the top and activated it. 96% connection. Almost there. I ran through the snow all night until I saw the last tower. I did it. I activated all the towers. Mythbreaker protocol is ready. What does that mean? There's still one button behind glass. I pressed the button I saw earlier. It executed the Mythbreaker protocols and gave me coordinates to the Mountain of Madness. I don't like the sound of that, but this is the only way I'll get answers. I geared up for my trip to the mountain. I don't know what's there, but I need to be ready. I found a giant door leading into a mountain. This has to be it. I got close and felt strangely empty. Not fear or dread, just emptiness. I opened the door. The abyss beckons. This is Mount Yavalix. My whole journey has led me here. I entered the stronghold with apprehension. I flipped a lever and I'm told it's one of 3 switches I need to flip to override something. I looked for more levers and had to fight insane soldiers. A book spoke of a creature that climbed out of a portal and warned the people here to leave. They didn't. There are monsters here. I found an oculus of some sort. I have a feeling it's important. Something evil corrupted this place. I explored the ancient stronghold looking for more oculi and fighting monsters. What is the resonant eye? At one point, the emptiness almost overwhelmed me. I found a netherite chestplate. I found the second override switch. This place is a maze. I found more great loot, and an apple from the primal tree. I jumped into a nest of these strange insects. What the heck are they? After hours of searching and fighting, I had a good amount of oculi and found the last switch. Before I could activate it, I had to fight the Blue Exodus General. I found another tower here. It wouldn't work though. It said there was extra-dimensional interference. I found an empty portal frame. This must be what all the oculi are for. I filled the portal and jumped in. I entered the new dimension not knowing what to expect. Is that a dragon? I saw crystals healing the beast, so I shot them with my bow. This was a long fight. I shot the crystals and dodged the fireballs. I collected the smoke using bottles. Some crystals were in these highly protective chambers. Inside was a wizard that blinded me. I continued destroying the crystals. The dragon hit me in the air and I hit the ground hard. Luckily I have feather falling. I fell again, but was able to save myself. After I destroyed all the crystals, the dragon started doing precision airstrikes. I shot it, and it shot me with blindness. After a long battle, I finally slayed the evil creature. Now what? I don't know why I needed to do that. I still don't know what's going on. I collected the egg the dragon dropped as a trophy and left this foul place. When I left, I overheard a conversation. I don't know if I heard it or if it was just in my head. 2 entities were arguing. One was Drehmal himself and the other one I didn't know. I'll call him Orange. Orange is mad that Drehmal allowed the miners into Mount Yavalix. Orange let a monster attack them, and Drehmal thinks Orange is afraid of losing his crown. Orange wants something to happen, and Drehmal doesn't. Orange started talking to me. He said I was one of the people put into temporal stasis. He told me he could give me answers if I returned to the terminus. I woke up outside of the portal. I went back to the last tower, but it didn't work. It told me there was an intruder and initiated self-destruction. This failed too. I heard his voice again and entered the terminus. I didn't see anyone, but the weapon was gone with a fragment telling me to head east to the fallen home of the deities. Despite all that, I just worked on my base today. I found the place he was talking about. It had low gravity. I found a structure and went inside. I need answers. Orange talked to me here. I had to fight his minions as he taunted me with knowledge. I found another fragment telling me to go back to the mountain. I traveled back to Mount Yavalix and went down into the place that made me feel really empty. A new passage was open that led me to another maze. I found a book talking about the resident eye, looking beyond the veil, seeing things that we can't see on our own. I explored the maze. Inside the maze were these creatures. I don't think they can be killed. I had to run away from them. I went deeper. A book described the weapon I saw in the terminus. It was created using primal energy. A lot of it. Did these people create a weapon of godly power? How? After running from the monsters in the maze, I found the exit. I found the main control room for the eye. At one point, it saw a throne of a very powerful being. I shouldn't be here, but I need answers. I found another fragment, but lost a piece of myself. The miners of the primal energy ticked off an evil creature from another dimension. They put me in temporal stasis to fix the problem from the future. I hope I did. I found more netherite gear. I added a trophy room to my house. It was, peaceful. I traveled to the Island of Dawn and smelled something terrible. I saw a tear in the fabric of reality. I entered the tear. Orange told me I'm close to my prize, but I have one more fight. I had to face two powerful soldiers that had been corrupted, an archer and a swordsman. I couldn't deal damage to the swordsman until the archer was dead. The archer would slow me down and the swordsman would charge me. I kept shooting and dodging until I killed the archer. Then I focused on the fighter. Eventually, I killed him too. I thought I heard him say, "Thank you." Orange said I earned his respect and told me to return to the original crypt where he would give me knowledge. I picked up a fragment of a heart. I returned to the crypt. Orange told me I'm infinitely small and that's why he's telling me this. He has a crown and no one else can have it. I solved a riddle and found a hidden passage. Orange told me his real name and reality itself changed for a second. His name is... I collected Mythbreaker. It allows me to slow down time. He wiped out the miners since they got too powerful. He saw a future where they took his crown. He saw their deaths as necessary. He knows people will criticize him for all the deaths, but does it anyway. He thinks he protects us. I mean, he has all the knowledge and power, so maybe he does. He thinks Drehmal, the world, is too old and a new one needs to be made to help everyone prosper, even if it means killing everyone alive right now. Maybe he's right. No. This world is worth fighting for. We can make the current realm prosperous. We don't need a new one. He told me we'll meet again one day. I'm not looking forward to it. I left the crypt feeling empty. It wasn't the same emptiness I felt below Yavalix. It's like my whole world came crashing down. Everything I thought was true wasn't. I thought I wanted answers, but now I want the bliss of ignorance. I did more work on my base. I found another magic weapon. I finished my trophy room. I never did fully upgrade my boots. I think about what I should do now. I have the answers I wanted. I killed the evil beast. What now? I'll make a life for myself here. I know I'll always be an outsider, someone out of a different time with knowledge no one else has, but I think with time, I'll make new friends. I'll learn to live with the knowledge I've been given, and try to make the world a better place. Prove Orange wrong, if it's even possible. I think tomorrow I'll travel to Drehmal again. I want to shout out Luke the Notable for starting this 100-day trend, Fixit412 for inspiring me to roleplay the video, and Dictator Shadow. He did a walkthrough that really came in handy in finding all the towers in 100-day time span. Trust me, these towers are spread out all across the map and they take a long time to just find. The link for this map is going to be down in the description. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like. I do gaming challenges and I have other 100 days in the works, so subscribe if you don't want to miss them. In the meantime, remember to stay hydrated.